Good afternoon, everyone. Chris Berryman here, coalition builder and founder of Bringing Humanity Together. Welcome to a mobile edition yet again. I am today coming from you live from Four Rivers Steakhouse, or Smokehouse as they call it, here in Lakeland. Today is its grand opening day, so we're literally proud and honored to be here with you guys here today. It's going to be a great and engaging conversation with each and every single one of you, so we're just looking forward to having you all on the show today from, again, a wonderful Wednesday edition of our Conversation for Humanity call. So again, welcome everyone to the Bring Humanity Together live stream. This is one of three open forums under the Bring Humanity Together umbrella, where people can discuss topics related to the workplace and humanity in the workplace in a very positive and constructive way. We want to know what the issues are out there that are facing people today, because it's our goal, our mission, our passion, our purpose, and I dare say our calling here at Bring Humanity Together to create environments that people will love, not only in those workplaces, but also in our very communities. And also, as a reminder, we always will be going live every day of the week, Monday through Friday. We have our community calls booked in at the beginning and the end of the week. So if you'd like to find out how you can join those calls, please send me a message and I can give you the details straight away on that. We have our community call on Monday via Google Meet at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And then we have our other community call, which is LinkedIn Audio, on Fridays at 3 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. And I usually post that call here on Wednesdays. So be on the lookout for that too as well. You will see now not only any of the live streams that we do, but LinkedIn Audios will be actually on our business page and my personal page in and of itself. So today's going to, like I said, be a great special edition because, like I said, I'm coming to you live from Four Rivers Smokehouse here in Lakeland, like I said, on grand opening week. So we're just so humbled and honored that you guys are here with us today. And as always, we'll be going live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all at 2:45 Eastern Daylight Time. Just remember, we have this show dedicated to people who want to come share their stories on Conversations for Humanity. So this will be the guest scheduling link. So if you want to be able to do that, go to calendly.com/guest BHT/CFH, and we would love to have you come share your story here on Conversation for Humanity. So like I said, today's conversation is going to be really engaging because I want to hear from the heartbeat of humanity today. So uh, we are live and in living color today. So we want to hear from each and every single one of you today. So we are live. We ready to want to kick this bad boy off. And let's get the conversation started. And I see we have someone already here with us today. Miss Carla Finnegan is here with us today. Hello, Miss Carla.
Hey, how are you?
If you can believe it, I'm mobile edition yet again.
Oh, yeah?
I am at Four Rivers not Steakhouse, but Smokehouse here in Lakeland. This is grand opening week.
Oh, what are you doing there?
Having a little lunch.
Oh, okay.
I gotta eat sometime, don't I?
You must have gotten out of work.
No, I did not. I actually got out pretty early, so I knew I was gonna want some food, and I didn't want no tacos. So I said, "Hey, let's have some ribs for a change."
You got to have barbecue.
Yes. So I'm at, like I said, Four Rivers Smokehouse, and I just can't wait. That
Did you say it's a grand opening?
This is grand opening week.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah, the next competitor to our the smokehouse here at Four Rivers would be Mission Barbecue.
Uh-huh.
And that will be the next competitor to that.
Oh, I love barbecue.
Yeah. What kind of barbecue place are you having up there in Georgia?
Oh, we got all sorts of stuff. We have Shane's Rib Shack. We have Jim and Nick's, which is a dry rub Tennessee type barbecue. We have There's a really good place over by the mall called Q Barbecue, which
Yeah,
is good. Like Q line, QUE.
yeah.
Really good. We had a bunch of different barbecue places. We've got some Korean barbecue places around us. I've never been there, but
That's a big thing right now is Korean barbecue.
yeah, yeah. I've never been.
Why
So,
haven't you?
huh?
Why haven't you?
I don't know. I never think about it. I don't eat out that much.
I know,
Maybe once a week, you know?
but you always take Dad to Applebee's, do you not?
Oh, that doesn't count. That Oh God, that doesn't count.
That doesn't count.
Yeah, I just realized what I said, that I don't eat out that much, and I'm thinking of it in terms of, for me, socially.
Yeah,
And then you're saying, yeah, but you take your dad to Applebee's 3 days a week. Uh, I have a salad every time I go, or if I really splurge, I have soup and a
yeah.
salad, you know. So that doesn't count.
That
You know,
doesn't.
I'll eat out
That's
maybe
only Dad.
once a
That's all
week.
it is.
Once a month, I'll have lunch with a girlfriend of mine. You know, we
Yeah.
don't eat that much, so.
Well, that is good. That is good. So, our special guest was supposed to be here today, but like I said, she had to pull down last minute because of issues that have gone on and everything like that. So we're going to make the best of this call today. Brian is here with us today. Hello, Brian. How you doing today, sir?
Hello. Sorry, I'm a little late, but I was finishing up a phone call, and I
Hey,
tell you what, the
it
guy that
happens.
I was talking with, he was a talker. So,
That's okay. It happens.
Wow. Yeah.
You know,
but I'm here now.
that's why when I schedule calls, I do an hour, because
Well, when
if
I
I
originally scheduled with him, I thought it was going to be like a half hour, like I normally have. But then I saw you started at 2:45 today instead of 3, so we
yeah,
had to cut it a little short. So, oh well.
I always schedule a call for an hour, and it's not because I want to talk for an hour, but sometimes you get a talker,
Mhm.
and you hate to go, oh well, I'm really sorry, but I have another call, you know.
Mhm.
So, and then if I'm less than an hour, then it gives me an opportunity to kind of straighten up and get prepared for the next one, you know.
Mhm. Yep.
So who do you speak with today, Mr. Brian?
Let me look up his name here.
Because he must be a talker, evidently.
Well, he was actually on the actually it was a different show last night. But anyway, I can't remember which one it was, but it was his name
Yeah, there.
is Frank Pacelli,
Yeah,
and
he was actually
he
on the
gets
LinkedIn audio last night,
yeah, yep,
and that call was last night was powerful, was it not, Brian?
yeah, it was. Yeah, definitely. That was really good,
Yeah,
and there was
uh,
a lot of speakers. So
that there was, and your share
yep,
last night was truly powerful. Yet again, you were hitting a home run left and right.
yep.
All right, very good, very good. So, what I'd like to bring to the table today, and I know we're going to probably get some more people in, is I want to hear what is the good things that are being done in our local communities today. So, I want to hear from you. Is what is really happening good in your neck of the woods, and what have you been seeing lately, whether to be on LinkedIn, whether to be locally at your place of not only business but maybe where you live. And I surely want to take it there because see, I know a lot of people have heard my story before, and I probably might share a little bit of it a little bit later. But I just want to hear, like I said, what is the good things that are out there happening for humanity today, and I really want to go down that road and everything like that. So I'll start with you, Brian. What's really been good in your neck of the woods?
Well, that's a really good concept, and it's a great subject to speak on. Requires a lot of thought for sure. Um, I would say in my neck of the woods, especially on LinkedIn, um, I'm coming to realize that a lot of people are on the same page as I am, and there's starting to be like a great awakening starting to happen, and it's a big movement, and people are tired of the day to day rigmarole of what we're being told by the news and all that kind of stuff, and there's so much more to life, and people want to make a big impact and want to change and stuff, and not only that, but make a difference in people's lives as well. And not only that, but
Yeah.
they also want to bring God into it as well. And I feel that's great. That's amazing, and that's just what we need to do. I feel the harvest is ripe, and now is the best time to go for it.
Yes, it is. I truly believe the Great Awakening is here too, as well. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Ron, because see, for me, the big reason why I created Bringing Humanity Together in the first place because I saw the awakening coming. I just knew it was going to be there. It's not a matter of if it happens, it's only a matter of when. And I
Mhm.
just truly know that when we come together from that place that interconnects us all, which is our very humanity, then next thing you know, we can jump into a much larger world and even be a greater, not only influence, but a positive change agent to really help people grow and thrive together in that very community, whether it be
Mhm.
where we live, where we work, whatever that might be. We can literally do that in a way that connects us all, like I said, about that very humanity. And see, it's about really having that hope and faith, because when hope and faith come knock on your door, are you willing to answer that call? And I truly
Mhm.
believe that's going to be very tangible to a lot of people today, because maybe they just don't know what they don't know, but that's okay. Maybe we can guide them in saying, hey, there's might be a path for you in this very dynamic that we're building here, because we recognize that we're literally more interconnected to one another than we can even possibly fathom to imagine, or what we've been led to believe, that we actually are more separate than we actually are more together. And if we actually look at it from that dynamic, that we're actually more one together than we are separate, that's how I truly believe we can have the turning point of humanity like no other time in human history. So I just truly believe that's there.
And the other thing is, I believe that right now, um, with circumstances the way they are, with people going through the adversities and like job losses and all that kind of stuff, and pandemic and everything that's going on, um, now the time is ripe where we're kind of seeing like a peak where people are hungry for something different as well, and that's why we're seeing some of the changes happen so quickly too.
Yes, I totally agree. So, Carla, what's so good in your neck of the woods right now?
A lot of hardship, a lot of unemployment, a lot of people struggling, a lot of people not talking about what their struggles are. But, one thing that
Mhm.
hit me with what Brian was saying is we have to be careful not to give the image of the fact that, okay, I'm going to do what I'm doing because the time is now. The time to jump on it is now. Like, this is an opportunity. Let's do it. We've been this way. This isn't anything new for the people that are in this group. We've
Mhm.
always thought this way. We've always wanted to do better for other people. We've always wanted to be there for other people and lead with our humanity and kindness and put all the minutia that's going on and the hatred and the separation behind us and unite as one, because life is too short to go through all this nah 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 and you versus them. Life is too short for that. There are a lot of people hurting right now. And after the
Mhm.
pandemic, a lot of people are just craving community.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And
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 see,
they're tired of just existing as well.
yeah, And see, that is why I truly believe once we really see what other people see and or even believe, and then they in turn see what we see and even believe, then we can have a common framework and common ground standpoint to work from, because we're, again, at the end of the day, we're allowing that to occur. And then it comes from that place and space. I actually love what Kimberly Latenek is always all about when she gets on these broadcasts. She says the two questions she asks herself is it in alignment with me? And is it in agreement with me? But see, more often than not, we always put ourselves in a disadvantaged state, because then we go to things that maybe be in the negative, and then we really don't see what's truly actually there. So some people might say, hey, I get with Carla because I love what she's doing and it's totally in alignment with me. Great, got it, good. Let's work on that health and wellness and get you to a better healthy lifestyle and everything like that. But then again, then some people who may end up not being in alignment with Carla, but then maybe say, hey, I may have to start in agreement first and then work my way to alignment, or vice versa. Then you can, like I said, do that, because when you think about it, that alignment and agreement are literally gifts in of themselves. And then when you have those kind of people to come into your lives, that where not only alignment is present, but also agreement is present at the very same time, that is the coup de grace moment that we should all have and recognize, that that is the greatest gift of all, that we can literally say, hey, not only can I be in agreement with Carla or Brian or Chris, but also I can be in alignment with Carla, Brian, and Chris, because I can take a unique stand to not only be in common ground with them and be a part of that mission, passion, purpose, whatever that might be, but then again, recognize at the end of the day, I can take a unique stand on that from my own worldview, which is, of course, interconnected, of course, to humanity in of itself. Then I can be able to extrapolate that out and say, how does this pan out to where I can see what Carla sees, or what I can see what Brian sees, and do it in a way that is truly connective, collaborative, and literally creates that community in and of itself. So I'll go to you, Brian. What say you on that?
Hmm. Um, can we go to Carla? Because I'm not quite
Yeah.
sure yet what I want to say.
Go ahead.
So I want to know why you think alignment and agreement are two different entities.
It's not. They're just two different. They're two different spaces, but yet they're interconnected.
Why are
They're,
they two different spaces?
because some people might look at it as two different spaces. I believe they're actually one and the same, but most people think
So
that
give
there'd
me an
be alignment.
example of how people would look at it differently.
Huh?
Give me an example on how people would look at it differently.
Alignment may be of the things they are either passion driven by, purpose driven by, um, but agreement is some things that you may not necessarily have to be in alignment with, but you can agree on some things that you can really. It's like what we were talking about yesterday on Sharon Kara BHT when it comes to listening and everything like that. You can have a rapport with somebody, but not necessarily have to be in alignment with them to be able to work with them.
But
So
I
when it
wouldn't
comes,
even say that that would be agreement. I can have a rapport with somebody that we don't necessarily agree on everything.
right, and I get that, but that is why, like I said, I truly believe when you think about it in the context of different spaces, that maybe that's there and everything like that. Like I said, some people say it might be interconnected to one another, and that's all well and good. See, I just really believe alignment and agreement are interconnected, but there's two different ways you can look at it. Because see, everyone's going to be uniquely different. Because think about it, Carla. At the end of the day, if we all look at everything the same way, that to me would be a very boring place to be in, because then I think not only just like Carla, but Carla just thinks like me, and we see the same thing. But what if we was able to step out of that and see something maybe a little differently, but yet still be connected in and of itself?
Well, that's having a rapport with somebody. You can have a discussion with somebody and you don't have to be in agreement, but you can still have
Correct.
a rapport with them.
Correct.
Mhm.
Correct. And that's what I was saying, though, that agreement and alignment can probably be looked upon as two different areas of people's lives, but yet they're interconnected. But like I said, when people see that for what it really is, they can connect the dots, so to speak. It's like what Brenda Lees was saying yesterday on the call, that everything is literally connecting of the dots. And if we allow that to occur, maybe they have to start on that journey with you, let's say in health and wellness, and say, hey, I got to start with Carla with in alignment with her because I'm in alignment with so many different things, but maybe not necessarily in agreement. But then again, when you think about agreement, that might go right into alignment, and sometimes people don't recognize it as such. And I
I think
truly believe
the same.
I agree. I agree. But some people don't look at it that way.
Yeah.
But that's why I truly believe that when you create that space and place for them and with them, maybe they can get to see that in that way, that what works best for them, and not necessarily you, but what you can do to, like you said before, is you plant that seed inside of them to such a degree. Maybe you let them start that journey there within and say, hey, Carla, I'm so gung-ho about what you're doing in health and wellness. I want to do this, but I had to start it maybe from that place of agreement and work my way into alignment. And then some people have to do it in the other direction. It just depends. So, hello, James. How are you doing today, sir?
Good, Chris. How are you?
I am doing great on this wonderful Wednesday. Look like you just got up.
I've been working,
Yeah, chopping wood, I take it.
stacking wood.
Stacking wood. No chopping today.
You're
No
still
splitting.
stacking wood. You were doing that last week.
Oh, I'm going to be stacking till September.
Oh my goodness.
Probably splitting till October.
Wow.
So we're glad that you are here.
But
So we're
adding to
glad that
what
you're
you
here.
were
So,
saying,
go ahead.
so I want to add something to what you were saying, Chris. You know, it's like having two vehicles, interconnectivity, and the commonplace and everything. Think about this: if you have two vehicles, but they're made by different manufacturers, but yet you see eye to eye with the maker, and you're able to say, okay, connectivity and diversity and this and that. Yes, it's completely different aspects of the pendulum, so to speak, but at the same time, it's all interconnected, like you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes any sense.
It does. So I'll go to you now, Brian. What's now your thoughts on what we're sharing right now? What comes up for you?
Well, I have to agree with you, Chris. Then they can be separate, but they also can be connected as well. And I believe that's what we should also strive for, is that they are intertwined and connected. And and maybe by doing that, then we can also be more connected with each other at the same time.
So, how do we probably get to that place, Brian, as you're speaking of? How would you like to see that to occur?
And it's a good question. Well, I suppose we can do it this way. Um, as Carla was saying before, we don't have to be on the same page, so to speak, but we can use our uniqueness and our authenticity to be able to join us together in that respect as well, if you follow me. And by doing this, that will also connect us better to each other, even if we aren't on the same wavelength, so to
Agreed.
speak.
So let me ask you this then, Brian, because James has put this in the chat. He said, "Don't reinvent the wheel. Take the wheel for what it is," which I totally understand that and recognize that. But let me ask you this to everyone: can we reimagine the wheel?
Well, if the wheel is working for you, why would you reinvent it? I mean, the way the saying goes was if you've got something that's working for you, don't turn around and reinvent it when you don't have to. Yes, if there's something wrong in the system that you need to work on that, then yeah, you improve the system, but you don't throw the baby out with bathwater and just reinvent the whole thing. And why spend energy on reimagining it if you don't have to? Now, when you were talking about agreement and alignment, people could be in agreement to say, yeah, I need to do something about my health. But the alignment comes when they say, okay, I'm going to make those steps to make it happen, whether it be with me on their own or with anybody else. That's where the alignment could come in. But when it comes down to it, I'm not looking at the outcome. If somebody tells me they want to work on their health, I have a solution for them. If it's good for them, I'll be happy to work with them because I want to see their success. If they do it on their own, they get success. I'm good with that. If they work with somebody else that they like that program better, I'm good with that because in the end, the outcome's still the same. They're in
Right,
their, and that's what matters to me.
right, right. What's your take on that, Brian?
I can definitely see what Carla is saying there. Um, and I do agree with it. Um, hmm, I guess I would just have to reflect on that a little more.
All you got to do with Brenda Lee is tilt your head and say, I got to think about that, you
Yeah.
know? So, James, what's your take on what Carla just shared?
I do agree with her. And adding a little bit more to that, you know, like that saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, I mean, you can go around and say that you agree with everyone and this and that. That's all fine and good. But at the end of the day, what's your perception on who you are? What how would you agree with yourself if you were in that person's shoes? So, you know, then we have to say, okay, if I agree with that person, then how can we further the connection and connect the dots? Because we might agree with something that someone says and we might be in alignment in it, but just because we agree with something doesn't mean it's good for us. You know, I mean, okay, look at it this way. Let's say you have a rowboat, okay, and you got to get to the other side of the river, all right, and somebody tries to show you a different way to cross the river. Do you agree with the person that's saying, hey, I have a new solution for you? Do you want to see it? Are you in alignment with it? Are you in agreement with it? Or are you going to continue on your merry way and fight the tread waters and risk drowning?
All right. What's your take on that, Carla? Carla,
Sorry,
what's your
I'm doing a Brian. I'm still reflecting on that.
I'll share a little more while she's doing that. I'll go back to where What's her name?
Brenda Lee's?
No, not Brenda Lee's.
Kimberly.
The other, no, not Emily.
Kimberly.
Kimberly. Yeah, I think. She stated the other day that when we were talking, that she visualized like a big oak tree and stuff. And here's a little similar thought to that, but it goes a little deeper. Um, I'll share with you a little something that you may not know about a redwood tree. First off, when we think of redwoods, of course, they're so massive and everything.
Yeah.
How big of a seed do you think that is?
I think probably something like about that big.
Okay. What about you, Carla?
I have no clue.
No clue. How about you, James?
Well, the seed's got to be pretty big for a big sized tree.
It's probably the inverse.
It's actually one of the smallest seeds out there. If you think
you
about it,
kidding me?
it's from a pine cone. And not only that, when it comes out of the pine cone and it starts to germinate, it does not show right away. As a matter of fact, it goes dormant for 7 years. And the reason being is a redwood grows so fast that it would not be able to support itself otherwise. So what it's doing is it's working on its roots, the most important part of the tree. And
Wow.
when it works on these roots, it's not going deep. It's spreading out. If you ever look at a redwood forest, the trees are like right lined up with each other. And that's
Right.
because they hold each other up. So,
Wow.
in a sense, that's pretty much what we're talking about here as well, I believe. And the other thing about the redwood is, like I said, it grows so fast. When it's young, you can actually hear it growing,
Wow.
believe it or not. So,
Wow.
the reason why it grows so fast is because the tree canopy is so tall that if it would take forever to get up to the top of the canopy, it would die before that ever happened.
Wow.
So that's why it does that. And so with that analogy, I think it relates perfectly with us because the more we spread out our roots and help each other, then the other thing is because it's such a vast root system and everything's intertwined.
Uh huh.
That's the reason why they hold each other up, because whenever a redwood falls down, it will never uproot. What it does is it splits in half,
Wow.
and that's to save the other trees. So it's pretty amazing. I mean, how God put it all together, you know, and how God put us all together too. So um, I don't know what how that resonates with everybody here, but um, it's something to really think about big time and and
Yeah, it
relate and
resonates with
relate
me.
yeah and
It
relate it
does.
to what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely right. Philip, good afternoon, sir. How are you doing today?
Life is good. Wonderful.
Are
Looking
you
forward.
excited for the new Jaguar Stadium?
Well, yeah, that's been coming. You're going to see a huge gentrification in the next 5 years downtown. All that property there is going to go. They're basically, way I look at it is Jacksonville's the last frontier between the north and the south. And the
Did
St. John.
y'all say something about was it the Georgia Florida game that they're not going to play in Jacksonville next year?
No, they were. If they're renovating the stadium, they won't.
So they'll
That's
be
the
playing in
whole.
Florida this year.
Well, what are they going to do with the landing area?
That's what they're transforming into a livable, sustainable city.
Oh, awesome.
And they're bringing shops down because right now there's nothing.
Yeah,
And if you're a builder, you're looking at going, this is a dream because there's no other city in the United States that has the resources that Jacksonville does and the river that they never use.
yeah,
And that's why they've been dredging out the river and everything so they can get bigger vessels in. But unfortunately, they can't take it downtown, in which if they were able to do that, take it downtown, it opens up a whole nother economic boom that's going to happen here because everything's on the water. You got
yeah.
all the baby boomers retiring. None of them want to deal with the bad weather. And so they come down here, and Jacksonville is uniquely centered to where it doesn't get hit as hard as the panhandle or the south of Jacksonville. It usually skirts right around and hits South Carolina and
Yeah,
Georgia and
yeah,
all that.
yeah, yeah.
So if you look at it for an investment wise, if you have that as the major hub between the north and the south and St. John's River and everything, exploit the shit out of it.
Well, you have
It
the
does.
naval port there too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And exploit it and take advantage of it. Unfortunately, they're fighting old town, small town politics because it's controlled. Well, you know what? The people have the final say.
Yeah,
And that's when you vote the right people in and you get things moving. Uh, they can't stop growth now. There's no, all they can do is slow it down to where they need the infrastructure first. And unfortunately, they had Brian Hughes, which was the city administrator, that had the philosophy of, I refuse to build it so they come. Because we talked about Portland and Seattle and how the booms happened. I was there. It happened 20 years ago in Seattle, and where it was affordable back then, and all of a sudden it just exploded. And now, I mean, you got one city that controls the whole state.
well, that's what happened with Florida with COVID and all the stuff going on now. People are moving down to Florida right and left.
Yeah.
Why not
And
take advantage of that and grow your city?
well, and but that's the thing about it is there's a migration period. We're 335 million people. They have to go somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And there's basically there's so many foreign nationals in Jacksonville. It's amazing to see
yeah.
how really diverse it is and how much it has changed, and you can't stop progress.
Mhm.
That is
How many
true.
people are moving to Florida every day now?
They're
I
talking about 10,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
yeah. They're projecting Polk County to have 35,000 every year to 2030.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's where all that next generation that has the old generation that has all the money, that's where they want to buy multiple properties.
Yeah.
And but what do you do? Because what it ends up is gentrifying the natives.
Mhm.
I mean, look at
Exactly.
Hawaii. And the thing about it is when you don't have that core cultural structure, others come in and take over.
Yeah. So let me ask you, Philip, what's been going on good in your neck of the woods?
Good as in,
Any
Just right
good things
outside of them.
happening?
oh, there's a lot of great things happening. Because there's a lot of construction and everything. It won't hit its full potential until for another decade. But right now they're prepping for it. There's stuff going up left and right. Uh, I think Americans are starting to wake up and realize that, if we can't allow people with agendas to run everything. And most of the people that I've seen get into politics have an agenda. And we need to get away from uh, career politicians. And you diversify enough over time. I mean, what? Well, they're dying out of these Senate positions. And they're refusing to allow progress to happen because they're stuck in the past. And they can't see the future anymore. And it's too much power. When you put too much power in someone's hand for too long, it's going to corrupt them.
How do you think it came to that? Because I mean, I'm of the school of thought that they work for us.
Yes, that's the way it was set up. That's the way it's designed.
Well, how did it get
Unfortunately,
to where was it because of apathy that people are like, well, I'll just vote for this guy, whoever I know him, or was it name recognition or whatever, to where all of a sudden it's like, well, I'm going to do anything that I want to because I have the power. What are you going to say? Not vote for me? I got plenty of other people to vote for me. Why do I need your vote?
well, and
What? How did it switch? How did it shift?
when you only have two parties and no competition but said each other, and you're passing the torch back and forth with no other input, and just like a Biden, he's pushing all his extreme left wing agenda because he can, and no one can stop him. And unfortunately, he's sacrificing the 98% of the population for the 2%. And until we balance that back out and we learn how to get along and communicate and realize that we're no good 335 million individuals. We're only good if we all come together, we all see a purpose and go for it. And it takes everybody. There's not one cure all of anything. Everything serves a purpose or it gets changed.
So let me ask you this then, Philip, because we were just asking this of ourselves just a few minutes ago. Um, because this is what James said just a few minutes ago is, do we have to reinvent the wheel and take the wheel for what it is? So let me ask you this, and I see Safines with us today. Hello, Safine. How you doing today?
Hello, Grace. Hello, everyone. I'm fine, thank you. Don't ask
Hey,
me question
Saffron.
now. I just joined.
Yeah, we're glad that you're here. Thank you so much. But so my question to you then, Philip, is, can we reimagine the wheel? What's your take on that?
It's not reimagining anything. It's just getting back to the fundamentals. Just with any athlete, any professional, you go down rabbit holes, and next thing you know, you look back going, wow, I lost the fundamentals of what I'm doing. I need to step back, pay attention, and get back to what got me there in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And a good book, actually, it was written by Chuck Norris.
Oh, nice.
and it's a black belt in patriotism.
Hmm.
And it's just not his opinion. He goes into the history and everything of what they were thinking. That's why it took 10 years to write the Constitution,
Mhm.
because every word mattered. And people don't realize that. It's not somebody just on Chat GPT said, design me the Constitution of the United States. There was none of
Oh,
that.
that old piece of paper. That old
Yeah.
outdated piece of paper. Yeah.
Well, and basically it was just the skeleton of a government, and it should be of the people. Now we switch back to autocracy. Families control everything, and if you're not part of that family, you don't matter. And the Rothschilds and everybody else that's involved,
Yeah.
that's what we've come to. And you go to any geographic location, there's a family that controls it, because they're the Duttons. They have their fingers in everything because they have a stake in the claim.
Yeah. That is so true, so true. So, Safine, how are you doing? And I want to ask this question because this is the main topic of today's call is what is going on good in your neck of the woods? So please tell us, Safine, what is going on great in where you live?
Mm, to me, where I live, I really like everything. I are you asking about what something new going on or something like this? I didn't got the question, Chris.
My question to you was is what's going on great in your city, in your country? What's some great things that is happening that's really inspiring humanity, moving humanity forward? What are those things?
Oh, okay. So as you know that I am living in Germany, I have also traveled a lot of other places like Denmark and France and also Australia, a lot of other like Amsterdam, Netherlands. But what I found really interesting in Germany is people are very open-minded and very accepting. I have never seen, even though they have some opinion, like nobody likes everyone, right? Although they don't like, but they don't react. They try to respect. I really like this. I didn't found it in some other countries. I saw racism. I saw people in. You can see from their eyes or in their face that they just don't like you. But this type of like they really hate it German because they think that everybody have their own value and they try to respect. They don't judge from the cover. This thing I really like. And one, what more I can say, like they smile if you're walking and look at you, they smile. Like, at least when you have this eye contact, they smile. They just don't pass through you without any reaction. Like you don't matter or you don't care. It's just
Yeah.
whenever they have any eye contact, they smile. And another thing is they care. Like I have also seen in France, if you're falling in the street, nobody will come to help you, or
Right.
they might be will look at you from far away and ask you are you okay, but they will not touch you or even call anything. But in Germany they will just, are you okay, do you need any help? Like they're very, how could I say, I saw humanity in them. And they don't put their nose on your life. Like they don't actually care what you are doing. And like my colleagues, they also, whatever I have some colleagues, if they were in my country, people will not like them because what they do after work. But here they don't care, they can be anything outside of work, but they are working here and working good, and he is a colleague, I should respect. I don't care what he's doing outside of the work. As long as he's good with me, I'm good with him. Like this type of things, like really take care of my business. I don't worry about what's others business, you know what I mean? So this thing I really like here. And another thing is, here life is very secured. Like work, they cannot throw you out whenever they want, one. And two is, after work, like when you are retired, you are secured. It's also because they pay a lot of tax, and they have insurance, two types of insurance. One is health, and one is this work security. And they really enjoy their life. They go to, like, they don't have to care about when they will not work, what will happen. That is two things. Wherever I went, I asked other people that what you like and what you don't like in your country, and I found that this thing in Germany is exceptional. I haven't found anywhere. Thank you.
Oh, I love that, Safine. That is truly amazing. But I got to ask both you and Philip this, because Brian brought this up just a few minutes ago. And I'll start with you, Philip. Do you believe the great awakening of humanity is literally right before us, right here, right now?
I do, because we have access to more information and connectivity than we've ever had in human history. The fact that we can all have this conversation and actually see each other is a modern marvel, because 20 years ago we couldn't do it. And now we do it effortlessly. And it's all about the connection and connectivity of it all. You're going to see a huge awakening, and people looking back and getting back to the basics of just being a decent human being. We don't have to worry about food now. We don't have to worry about, because there's so much food here. And if you're really hungry, you'll find a way. And there's enough organizations out there that willingly give out food free. And it's about keeping your dignity. But I think there's a major shift going on, because a lot more people are becoming aware of the diversity, inclusion, and everything, how beneficial it is. Because we're all going through the same thing. We're all living in the same area. Why not make it as safe and comfortable as possible, to where your community ends up being extremely valuable, or a place that everybody wants to be, and by choice. And we thrive and live, and kids go to school together and grow up, and life, this whole cycle keeps going. Because do you think anybody really cares what I think in 50 years? No, actually not. That's the reality behind it.
Well, I love that, Philip. I truly am so in tune with that. That was a great share. So I'll go to you, Safine. Do you truly believe that the great awakening of humanity is right here, right now?
Seth, you're still muted.
Safine, are you there? Hopefully, she'll come back here in just a second. But Brian, I really, like I said, go back to what you were saying about the redwoods, though, because that was truly amazing. And I definitely want you to share that with Philip and Safine again, of, in context of what we're doing here at Bringing Humanity Together, about how that plays out. Can you we share that with us?
Yes. When it comes to how a redwood grows and stuff like that, first of all, I'll ask you, Philip, how big do you think a redwood seed is?
About the size of a walnut.
Okay. It's actually one of the smallest seeds in the world. If you remember, it comes from a pine cone.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And when it starts to germinate, you won't see anything happen for 7 years because it goes dormant. And it's not that nothing is happening, it's actually for a reason. And it's because it's working on the most important part of the tree because of how big and massive and how fast it's going to grow. Otherwise, it would collapse on itself. So it's working on building its root system. Now, as with any tree, trees don't grow their roots real deep. Most of their root system is right on the surface or within the first, say, 3 to 4 feet or so. And if you look at an uprooted tree, you can see that that's exactly what happens. Now, they may have a taproot, but after that taproot is done growing, it's no longer needed. And then that disappears. But with a redwood, during this 7 years, it's growing a massive root system. And if you ever looked at a redwood forest, they're actually growing like right on top of each other. They're real close. And what they're doing is they're not only growing their roots, but they're intertwining everything all together and they're holding each other up. And not only that, but see, the reason why the redwood grows so fast is because being being that it's such a high canopy, it doesn't get much sunlight on the ground. So it has to reach the sunlight. So therefore it has to grow as fast as possible. And that's why when it grows, it's not just a thin little stem, it's a big, massive stem. And if you ever actually listened, or actually, if you ever went up to a young redwood, you would be able to listen to it growing. That's how fast it grows. And not only that, but since every one of the trees is holding each other up, when a redwood dies, it never uproots. What happens is it'll actually split in half and fall because it's protecting the other trees. So, in a sense, we can use that analogy to incorporate that into our lives as well. And by holding each other up and working together as a system, as a team, then we can actually create a much stronger system or a much stronger body than by ourselves. And we can make a much bigger impact as well. And the other
So
thing
what's your
the other thing
Go ahead, Brian.
that I just thought about is since it's one of the smallest seeds out there, let's say most seeds, when they fall, they're going to fall like directly on the ground, all right below the tree, which there may not be enough room for that seed to grow. But since it's one of the smallest seeds out there, that's when the birds carry it off and it can disperse elsewhere too. So yeah, just a pretty neat thing to think about. And how do you, after hearing that, how would you relate that to your life, and does this give you a whole different perspective as well?
How long does it take a redwood to grow to full maturity?
That's a good question. Google it.
Oh, you don't know what you were
It's still
asking
going to take a long time. It's still going to take a long time, but it's a lot shorter than we would ever think.
Well, when you were talking about the seed falling and you're not seeing anything for the first 7 years, it reminded me a lot of business, because people think that when you start your own business that it's just going to take off and it's going to skyrocket and you're just going to be rolling in it in a matter of days. And it takes weeks, it takes months, for some people, it takes years before things really start to take off. And I kind of imagine that with the redwood, that you were saying that it took 7 years for it to start to show the growth of the tree, and that underneath it was just growing the roots. And I see that a lot in business too, that people are, they're making it, but they're not making it the way they really want to make it. And then boom, all of a sudden it takes off.
Mm-hmm. And if you think about it, the number 7, that also has spiritual significance.
It's my favorite number.
It's the sign of perfection. So I think that's pretty significant as well, too. What's your thoughts on that, Chris?
Well, I really see the big tie-in with that, and I love that, because here's why. Of course, our logo is, of course, this one right here. So let me go ahead. To your redwood scenario, I truly see the significance of that, because we not only are one, but we literally are interlocking to one another to such a degree that we can really create, create a great, big, and growing dynamic. And think about it, like you said, when it comes to, if that tree falls, it makes sure that it doesn't fall on other trees. It literally saves other trees by kind of chopping itself in half and everything like that. But yet that tree still does not die. It still won't grow. It just snaps off and just keeps on going. But see, what showed up for me when you were sharing that again, this came to mind too as well. And I would love for us to have a show driven by this. I truly believe we should have a show relative to the tree of humanity. And I believe that's going to be very significant. So, Safine, I would like to go to you. What's your take of what Brian has shared with us when it comes to the redwood dynamic and everything like that? What's your thoughts on what Brian has just shared with us?
She might have stepped away.
I think
I am here. I am so sorry. Yes, I was not in the room. I had a call. Yes. Did you ask anything, Chris? I'm sorry.
Yes, I did. Yeah, we were talking about the redwoods and bringing humanity together, and how that connection was. I don't know if you heard that or not, but Brian, I think you may have to reiterate, since Safine stepped out of the room for a second.
Sorry.
That's all right. First of all, I'll ask you this, Safine. How big do you think is a redwood seed?
Redwood seed?
Yeah. First of all, are you familiar with redwoods? Like how big they are and stuff like that?
No, I am not.
Okay. We're talking about the California redwoods, like the sequoias and stuff like that. The big trees, they're upwards of 200 feet or more, and they're some of the most massive trees that grow in the world.
Oh yes, yes. Yeah,
okay.
I have seen this. This is very pretty.
Okay. How big of a seed do you think a redwood has?
The similar as normal seed, or it is big.
Okay. Actually, it's one of the smallest seeds around.
Yeah, okay.
And the
Cool.
reason for that is it comes from a pine cone as well.
Wow.
And when it germinates, it actually doesn't have anything showing for the first 7 years. It actually goes dormant. And there's a reason for that. And it's not that nothing's happening, it's actually building its most important part of the tree, which is its root system, because of how massive the tree is
Mm,
and how fast
mhm,
it's going to grow and stuff like
mhm,
that. Otherwise, it would collapse on itself. And if you ever looked at a redwood forest,
mm.
um, in the pictures, you'll see that they grow very, very close together. They're almost growing right on top of each other.
Yeah, yeah.
And the reason being is what they're doing is not only are they growing their roots out, they're not growing the roots down. All right. Most
Mm.
trees, if you look at them, their roots only go like right on the surface and maybe within the first few feet of the ground or so. And what it's doing is it's spreading out its roots and intertwining with the other trees. So they hold each other up together. And um, while they're doing this, they're supporting each other as well. And um, it's a fact that the redwood actually grows so fast that if you went up to a young one, you could actually listen to it growing. So isn't that amazing?
Wow.
Now, the other thing about it is the reason why it grows so fast is because of how high the canopy is. So um, there's hardly any sunlight on the ground itself. So if it was to grow real slow, the tree would die before it even reached the top of the canopy. So that's one reason why it grows so fast. And um, when it finally does grow, I mean it takes off. It really takes off. And the other thing is, if a tree dies, it will never uproot because of how all of them are holding themselves together.
Oh my God. Are they
Instead,
human?
they actually split, and that saves the rest of the trees as well. So, um, if you think about this, this relates to us as well.
No,
Uh,
if you think about this, it is giving us a lot of hope. All
oh yeah,
humans should be like this.
exactly,
They
exactly.
that
So,
they
so
don't
I'll
have
ask you, what's your
deeper.
take on it?
Oh, I learned a lot of things from you, Brian. Like I didn't knew about so many things about this redwood, and it is actually I resonate with a human life, and every human being should learn from it. That we don't have a
Mhm.
really strong root, but then we have to support each other, and we have to grow really fast because if one we have to make our humanity go not slower because of me, or our family should not fall behind because of me. I have to walk in the same phase.
Amen.
Yeah, that's very wonderful. Thank you, Brian.
Hey, you're welcome.
Amazing trees, man.
Grow 5 feet a year.
yeah. How many years?
5 feet a year.
5 feet a year. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Carla's our resident Googler, so she'll Google anything on any live stream at any time. So you
And it
just
can
never know what
easily
Carla.
reach 150 feet within a person's lifetime.
Wow, that's amazing.
That is amazing. Where is it? I should
Yeah,
see them. California? Only in there?
thank you.
That's not right.
Yeah. So
If it's 5 feet a year and I'm 60, That's 300 feet, right?
It grows bigger than that. It has to, because some of these trees are literally
Well, so
hundreds
okay. So
and hundreds.
what I'm reading is they're saying it can easily reach 150 feet in someone's lifetime. But if I live to be 70 and it's growing 5 feet a year, that's 350 feet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't believe Google all the time.
But I
That's what
love.
I've learned from it. You
Yeah.
can dispute Google.
But see, I love the way Brian has brought this to the table. And what we're doing here, bringing humanity together. How the canopy is so high, but yet so interlocking. Same thing when it comes to the root system. It's so deep and so kind of really divvied out. And just like what he is saying, that if that one tree doesn't really work out well, whether it dies or it gets hit by lightning or something like that, it really was split, but yet it still will live, and then it's not hurting in the other trees. That's the way it was naturally designed to do. And I truly believe, like I said, we should definitely have a show relegated to the tree of life or the tree of humanity, literally. And that's why I just said the title should be the tree of humanity. I think we really should really do that. I love the way we have now weaved this in together, because Brian, you're the tree guy because you've done a lot of trees in your
And I'm the
time.
Google girl.
Yeah, you the Google girl, absolutely. And
And,
and that. Go ahead.
and I actually learned that a long time ago. It was actually in church, believe it or not. But anyway, it was well before I was even involved with the tree service.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. So, all
I was
right.
gonna
So,
say, don't you have a tree service too? Wow.
I did, but I had to hang it up.
You must really oogle your clients with your tree knowledge.
there you go. There you go.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, very good. So at that time of the day right now for us, we're getting ready to close out this episode of Conversation for Humanity. And if you would love to come share your story, we would love to do so in and of itself. So that's why I wanted to hear what was going on great in your community today. So that's why we were wanting to hear and share from everyone today. So again, if you want to come share your story on Conversation for Humanity, this is the guest scheduling link on accountantly.com, guest BHT/CFH, and we love for you to share your story here on Conversation for Humanity. So let's go to that final thoughts and call to action time, and I'll start with you, Miss Carla. What say you?
Well, I love that we talked about all the stuff going on and improving our world, and then got into the discussion about redwoods and how all the root systems support one another, which I think we need to be doing each and every day for each other and supporting people in our community, getting out there. And diversity, equity, and inclusion in my life is not a new term. I've dealt with, interacted, not dealt with, but interacted with people of all diverse nationalities and ethnicities in my 40 years of nursing. And diversity, and inclusion and should be part of everybody's life. It should be
Well,
something we don't even have to think out of, something we don't have to work on. Unfortunately, not everything is equal in this world, but we can give people the tools to better themselves.
absolutely, absolutely. I love that, Carla. And see, I truly believe that we can be united by the one thing that interconnects us all, which is our very humanity. But we can tap into that in so many different ways. So, Brian, what's your final thoughts on your call to action today, sir?
Well, I just Googled the tallest sequoia, and
Oh, here we go.
it's General Sherman. I'm sure you all
I've
heard
heard of
of
that one.
that
Yep.
tree.
The
It's
burning of
two
Atlanta.
it's 275 feet tall, is over 36 feet in diameter at the base. The trunk, 60 feet above the base, is 17 and a half feet in diameter.
Wow.
Wow.
So that is extremely massive. So now you can understand why the root structure has to not only be in place, but it has to be entwined with all the other trees.
Wow. I love that.
So again, I'll just relate it to us. I mean, in our lives, I mean, it's such a short lifespan. If we think about it, we might have 100 years, all right?
Yeah.
We might have 75, we might have a lot less. But regardless, it's still a short time span. And if we go about it on our own, we're going to be a lot weaker than if we go about it bringing others along for the
Reach for
ride.
the sky.
Yep.
And not only that, but we're better together as well. 1000%.
I'll take that odd any day of the week. And I love that. Thank you so much, Brian.
Yep.
Safrine, over to you. What is your final thoughts and your call to action today in this great and engaging conversation about what is great in your community?
Be redwood tree.
There you go.
That is true. Like, you have to understand that you have limitations. You are not strong alone. And you have to understand that we all together, we are stronger. We can support, although we are weak, together we are strong. And even if we die, we have to think how we can add value and just don't disturb others. Just die alone.
All right. I love that. I love that, Safrine. You're amazing in and of itself. And I have to say, you guys are just truly amazing because I just know I just couldn't do this alone. And you guys not only have faith in me, but have faith in each other that this is going to be not a matter of if this gets big, it's only a matter of when and how we build out that canopy, how we build out that forest, how we really connect to each other in a way that we really can do this thing together. And see, my final thoughts and call to action is simply this: just show up. Just show up in your community. Be that person not only for that change and be that change, but do it not necessarily for yourself, but do it for others. Because by doing things for others, it's literally going to help you grow and everything like that. And again, it's going to connect everything. It's going to connect the dots and everything like that. So by knowing that the very act of giving and the very act of receiving, those redwoods will be massive. And we may have more general sermons before we even realize it because it will be there. They will be big and massive. But yet they not only will be strong, but they will be in unison to one another that they will have something so massive and so tight knit, you can never break it. And I truly believe that's what we have here, bringing humanity together. And I just surely love that. So again, thank you, Carla. Thank you, Safrine. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, James and Philip, for being on today's broadcast. And we're looking forward to, like I said, hearing from you. So again, if you'd like to come share your story on Conversation for Humanity, here's the link. We would love to have you a part of our great and growing community and movement and team that is bringing humanity together. So please come share your story. If you'd like to find out how, just send me a message or send Carla a message or Brian or Safine, and we would love to have that great and engaging conversation with you. So from all of us here, bringing humanity together, have a great and wonderful Wednesday. Make it your day, and we will see you tomorrow on Humanity Happy Hour. Have a great day, everyone.
Have a
Before
good
we
day.
go,
Great day,
Yeah, yeah.
everyone. Take care.
before
Bye
we
bye.
go, can I just add a little bonus?
Okay, absolutely.
This goes along with what we talked about yesterday about what I related to brotherhood as
Mm-hmm.
well. And so we may not even like each other. We may not want to have anything to do with each other, but we're all yet still interconnected in that same way,
Absolutely.
and so it can work either way. And it's amazing how God all put it all together.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. There's always a reason for everything. There is. Absolutely. Well said, Brian. So
yep,
again, from all of us here at Bring Humanity Together, have a great day. Make your day. And we'll see you tomorrow on Humanity Happy Hour, hosted by none other than Carla Finnegan. Have a great day, everyone.
Take
yep.
care. Bye.
Bye.